Alright, hi guys, welcome to another tutorial by Interactive Programming, and today we're going to be continuing building our Notepad application, and this time we're actually going to be opening the text files, or in general any files. So let me just go ahead and close my other projects. So let's open up our Notepad. And I'm just going to open up the main UI. Well, first of all, logically speaking, in order to read a text file, well, the main purpose is to display the contents of that file to the user. Well, how are we going to display that? We don't have anything to hold all that text in. Well, that's why we're going to go down to swing controls, and let me just make sure this is recording yet. We're just going to go down to swing controls, and here we'll see an editor pane. That's what we want to use. So I'm just going to put that right there. Make it bigger. Make it bigger that way. Okay, so now we actually have edit scroll pane. And inside this we have our editor. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to rename them. I spelled that wrong. Well, that's okay. And I'm just going to call the editor pane the editor. And it's actually the editor pane, the JEditor pane is where all that files are written, where all those content is displayed. So the editor pane is more important than the scroll pane, generally speaking. Now, let's go ahead and go to our menu bar, file menu, and the open item. Go ahead and right click that, events, action performed. Well, over here, last time, we would just pick a file and then show the path. It's absolutely right, there's nothing wrong with that. But what if we actually want to display those, contents of the file? So, in order to do this, first of all, we're going to need a scanner. I'm just going to call this reader, actually. Spelled scanner wrong. And if you guys watched my previous tutorials, I went over scanners in the second tutorial, where we covered how you could actually make a program. Java util, and then over here we're just gonna type in and okay, so what we want to type right underneath where we display the path is scanner reader is equal to a new scanner chooser.get file. The get selected file, my bad. Now over here we're just creating a scanner. And for those who don't know what a scanner is basically an object or a class in Java that allows us to read files or the console. And of course the console is just the output menu right there. System.out.println, we're writing to the console. So here we're just creating a new scanner, we're calling it reader, and we're setting it equal to chooser. Now remember, our chooser is our file dialog dot get selected file. So whatever the user selects will be the reader, is what the reader will actually read. Now this is going to spin out an error. Why? Because we actually have to use a try and catch, because this won't work for everything, right? So just click on that bulb icon and surround statement with try and catch, and there, your errors are gone. Now I wrote most of this code again, I don't remember off the top of my head, so I'm just going to look into it. Go down to source and open scanner, okay, and then string builder. I'll just go ahead and copy these. I'm just copying my code and I'll just explain it then because it'll be faster that way for me and the video as well. But I'll show you guys what exactly the code does. Let me just edit some things because the code does not perfectly match. Let's go to new string. Okay, so let me just go over the code right now. Alright, so first of all, I'll go from the top. So we just let the console know, okay, we're opening a file right now. What just happened? And then we're creating a new JFile chooser. Now basically a file chooser allows us to choose a file. And here we're giving it creating a new integer called return val, and we're setting that equal to the chooser.showOpen dialog, and we type in null. This is a bit complicated and I don't know exactly how to simply explain it, but I'll do my best. Over here we're just creating an integer. Now it's not going to be a normal integer, it's going to be a specific Java type of integer, like jOptionPane.error message or something like that. So don't worry too much about that. And here we're just opening the dialog, and we need to put a null because it's going to ask for the parent component. Again, I'm not going to get too much into that, but just set it to null. Now we're actually checking if whatever the integer over here it is, if it's an approved file, so if it's actually a real file, then we're going to continue the rest of the code. Otherwise, we're just going to spit this arrow over here, please choose a proper file. Now, after that, we're printing the path to the file, and now is where we're actually going to read the file. So we have a try catch statement right here, and inside it we're creating a new scanner and we're calling it reader, and we're just setting it equal to the chooser.getSelected file, sort of the file the user chose. We're creating a new string builder. Our string builder is actually quite interesting because when we read from a file we want the text to be appended. Now appended just means that text is in the original place as it was before. Just don't worry too much about that again. But a string builder actually allows us to add strings and add them in a way that users can read them. Don't worry too much about this again, I'll go into it next tutorial. We're creating a new string called line, and then our string path is just the path to the file. And I added these empty quotation marks here because if I were to remove them and the plus sign, it would give me an error because that's not the right type. See, if I hover over, a file cannot be converted into a string. So if I just add that, it allows me to use it. And now this is quite interesting. We're using a string called line. We're creating a new string called line sep, and we're setting it equal to system.getProperty line separator. Now this is kind of complex, but every single operating system has a different special character that tells it that a new line is beginning. So for example, on Windows it's /n, and that just tells it that's a new line. I'm not too sure on Mac and Linux, but I know it's different for every operating system. So over here we're just getting the line separator, and here we're getting a while loop. I'm pretty sure I haven't been over this, but a while loop will just execute this bit of code as long as the argument is true. So we're creating a new while loop, and the reader dot has next line. So what is telling the reader, okay, look, reader, if you have the next line, I want you to set the variable line which we created here equal to your next line, and I want you to use the string builder to append the current line and then append line sep. And line separ is just a line separator. I know it's complicated and hard and sounds really weird, but it works basically. And append is the same thing as add, so it's actually just adding the strings in a manner we can actually read them. And then after it's actually done reading all that, we're using the editor, and we're setting the text of the editor, so we're actually not going to display it. The SB, which is a string builder, .toString. Even though string builder has the word string in it, it's not exactly a string. So the SB.toString converts it into a string, so we can actually display it in our editor. And remember, we just uses the appending thing, so we could actually read each and every line of the file and then add it together with our line separator, so it would actually make sense and it would be in the original state. And here we're just setting the title. I'm sorry, I apologize for that. This is again optional, you don't have to. I'm just setting the title to our program name and the path to the file. And here we're just letting it know that we opened the file, and just in case if there were any errors, we're actually just going to spit them out over here. To test if it works, I'm just going to go onto my desktop. I'm going to open up my text editor, and here I'll just type in hi this Now I wrote it like this because if you were to write it in a single line, then it would show up automatically because it only has to read one line. But I'm typing it in multiple lines, so I can actually test that the reader is reading all these lines, not just the first one. So it's actually reading the second line as well. I'm just gonna save it onto my desktop and test for text file, save, there. Now it's right there. I'm gonna open up NetBeans again, run our program, and there. So if you go on File, Open, okay, everything's working so far. Our console's right there, no errors yet. Go to Desktop. Where is it? Oh, go on Desktop, and let's search for the text file right here. Test for editor.txt. If you open that, file opened, and look at that. It displays the text perfectly. It actually works. And just to show you that it works, I'm just going to edit that file right here. And here, I'm just going to type in a bunch of random text in no order. Save that, run our program, and let's compare the difference between them. So, open, desktop, it's the last one. Okay, file opened, and look at that, it works beautifully. See, it's exactly the same order, just like how it was in the original one. One space, one, and then a bunch of spaces right there. So that's pretty much it for this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please comment, rate, and subscribe if you liked it. Thanks for watching. See you.